Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Toronto. Thanks for joining us. Today we wanted to talk about a really great topic about buyer mentality. And as we know, the parameters in the market have changed and it's brought new opportunities to buyers. And so today we wanted to talk about some of the things that are different and how buyers can be in it to win it and get themselves to the finish line in the home of their dreams. So Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about the biggest changes for buyers?
The biggest change for buyers is this interest rate environment, and a lot of people are looking at it as a negative. But in many regards, we can look at the silver lining, and the silver lining is that there are not as many buyers looking at properties. So there are opportunities starting to present themselves. Now, these opportunities have to be evaluated on a price point perspective, on a town perspective, on a property perspective. But, right now we're kind of looking at the magic number in our marketplace as 30 days. So if a home has been on the market for 30 days, that means that the market has not absorbed that price and buyers may start to have leverage. I was sending an email out to clients recently and I was saying in the spring, buyers would have to write 5, maybe 10 offers on 10 different homes to secure a property. And oftentimes we're offering 50, 100, 150K over the asking price. And now in this climate, buyers may still have to write 5, 10 offers on 5 different properties, 10 properties. But instead of going over, they might start to be able to go under asking price and really start to position themselves on a property and price perspective. So Joanne, how does price impact things and how does like a property? Why would I say that to buyers?
Because, right now things are looking a little bit more traditional, right? And when I say traditional, I mean that you don't need to have your checkbook in your hand the day a property comes on the market. So we have a little bit of breathing room, which is a good thing, and it's good for everybody. So, for buyers, I think that, the rising interest rate may have impacted affordability for some, but it's opened a window of opportunity for others where there's less competition on homes. If you find a really great home, when you're out doing open houses or doing showings with your buyer's agent, you find a really great home, you have the opportunity to make a more traditional offer. And a more traditional offer looks like something that has a home inspection and maybe a financing contingency as well, where you get an opportunity to go really thoroughly through the house, potentially see it more than once before you have to, make the decision for writing an offer. And it's really an environment where buyers have a little bit more time really to make decisions. Right now, the prices, it's not, we're not in a market where the prices are coming down or falling precipitously. So it's not advantageous in the sense that, you can get a property way below the asking price. But, being able to have a fair shake in the process and, do your due diligence and not be, under pressure with 25 other buyers wanting to take your spot is a good place to be. And it's a balanced place to be for both buyers and sellers.
Yeah, I mean, because some of our clients, oh, sorry, Joanne, I didn't mean to cut you off, but some of our clients, they don't love the fact that the monthly payment is going to be a little bit more, but they do love the fact that they can have a home inspection, that they can potentially buy a house with a home sale contingency, because for many families, the experience is almost as important as the savings that they may have had in the spring of a couple $100s. Because it was really stressful for families to have to waive home inspection, to waive financing contingencies. And there were buyers that ended up, although they thought they were saving money because the rate was so low, they went so far over the asking price that they actually didn't save any money. So, because as we've talked about in previous videos, you marry the house and you date the rate. If you can get the lowest possible purchase price, and rates change in the future, you may be in the best position of all, which is you got a great acquisition price. And then in the future, you're able to get a great rate, which gives you what you wanted in the first place, which is the lowest monthly payment. So that's something that's really important from a buyer mentality to be thinking about.
Yeah. And it's still, it's still important as a buyer to keep an open mindset that there are still situations of multiple offers out in the market. I mean, it's still
Absolutely.
happening. And sometimes it happens not in the first weekend, not in the second weekend. Sometimes there are people swirling around a property. One makes an offer and it triggers three others to make an offer because they've been considering the house, but just weren't compelled to move forward. So these scenarios can happen. And when one offer is submitted and another comes in, there's not much we do about it other than put our best foot forward and make it a competent financial decision for your family. So it's important to keep your mind open that you may be making more than one offer on a home, that fits your needs, and there will be more than one that come along. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of inventory coming to the market, so the choices that you have very narrow on the geography of where you want to be. The choices are not, amazing, but you never know when that perfect house is going to come to the market. So it's important to be ready, have the approval in hand, and keep your mindset in the right place that making a financial decision that impacts the next 30 years of your life shouldn't be done in 5 minutes.
Right.
So if it takes a few months, if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, but you end up in the property that you can be in for the next 10, 15, 20 years, you'll look back at it and you'll laugh about how frustrated you felt during the search process. But then you're in that home that you want to be in for the long term. And that's really what's important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. That is like really great advice, because this has been a hard period for buyers. It's been frustrating. I feel like we've been playing both buyer agent and counselor, because we have clients who just wrote a lot of offers, or it's taking longer. They've had to extend their rent. Rent is high. And,
Yes.
and so, but it's just really important to just stay positive and stay focused on the prize, which is having a home for the next 15 or 20 years to raise your family. And that's
Right.
really what we're focused in on as inventory shifts a little bit.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us this morning and for another great conversation of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Toronto.
And I'm Tom Matthews. Cheers.
Cheers.